Now the headlines. Some health workers in Chiripone in northern region have fled the district over communal clashes between Konkombas and Chokosis. Police in the northern region say the death toll in the Chiripone clashes has risen to 4. At least 150 homes are believed to have been burnt in the clashes, and these clashes are said to have been triggered by a misunderstanding over a parcel of land. District Secretary of Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives, Mahmoud Nafa Ibrahim, tells Joy News they don't feel safe working in the area.
It's true that many of us have left, and we had to leave because we're not sure of our safety and security. Over the period, we've been asking for police protection for the hospital, but where most of us had moved to stay. Well, we're not sure of our safety in our various homes. But the police at that period were also telling us that their numbers were not many, and they cannot afford that resident security at the hospital, so they do come around, and that was not safe enough for us. And like we've been complaining about, we had informants who have been giving us information about possible attacks which do come true. So we felt that the best option at that point was to leave. And so we're looking for any available option that will let us, exit Chiripone safely. And so now almost all of us have left, apart from a few colleagues that have remained to give emergency care to the casualties if any of them do arrive. Majority of our people had to leave through Togo. We are closer to Togo. There's a town there called Mango, which is just some few kilometers away from the Chiripone. So we had to pass through there, and then the remaining people came through the normal route. So currently, I think that most of us are out.
So there's uneasy calm in Chiripone in the northern region. Security forces deployed there to maintain order have at least managed to prevent any further violence following clashes over a parcel of land. The Northern Regional Security Council has been meeting to try and consolidate the gains made. Meanwhile, the Northern Region Police Public Relations Officer DSP Mohammed Yusuf Tanko says the joint police and military deployment is trying to reach the remotest areas affected by the clashes to ensure peace prevails. He has also been giving some updates on those fleeing the affected communities.
The situation in Chiripone is calm. Over last night through to this afternoon, we haven't heard any more burnings. We've been able to airlift men from, that is police and military men from Tamale to the place, and we've been able to cover a lot of the communities, and so we've been able to stabilize the situation.
We had some persons who were fleeing to Togo. How has that also been handled?
For those people who are fleeing, it will be very difficult for anybody to stop them, because we have a lot of houses that have been burned down, and before then you agree with me that those houses were inhabited, and so those people will have to look for that places either nearby or if across the border. If they have people in Togo who can accommodate them, surely they can go and live with them for the time being, because a lot of houses have been burnt, and that is what is compelling people to leave the areas.
Are we getting the support of NADMO, for instance, to try and help give these people shelter?
Those people who stayed behind and have been able to identify, I think NADMO is identifying them and trying to assist them in one way or the other.
Relatedly, the Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has bemoaned the negative impact of violence, especially those fueled by religious misunderstandings on national development. He has therefore called for religious tolerance and peaceful coexistence between persons of different religious persuasions. The Vice President made the call when he addressed participants at the 87th Annual National Convention of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Mission, Ghana, at Pomate in the Central Region on Saturday, the 5th of January 2019.
Islam as a religion means peace. True Muslim is one from whose tongues and hands all other peaceful people are safe, and who is at peace with his neighbors. Allah has admonished mankind, particularly Muslims, in the Holy Quran, chapter 2, verse 12, that we should not create disorder on the earth. These beautiful teachings are what we need as a developing nation, and that it requires every citizen, particularly those of us who call ourselves Muslims, to put them into practice, to show to the rest of the world that violence is an enemy to progress, and that our true nature as human beings is to be at peace with one another. There is no doubt in my mind that when we become each other's keeper and learn to be at peace with ourselves and with our neighbors, we will be able to take the relative peace we are enjoying in this country to a higher level, and we will build a violence-free society capable of tolerating each other.
It will be recalled that some death prophecies by the founder of the Glorious Word Power Ministries, the Reverend Owusu Bempah, triggered some destruction of property at his church premises by some angry Muslim youth last week. Well, the attacks are believed to be a direct response to the December 31 watch night service convened by the preacher, where it was revealed by him that some top Ghanaian officials would die in the course of 2019, including the Vice President, the National Chief Imam, among others. The National Peace Council has since joined calls for religious tolerance following the incident. Chairman of the Council, the Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, says such prophets must be circumspect in their pronouncements to prevent plunging the country into chaos.
Prophesying that an aged man will die at a given year without seeking audience with that person and discussing whatever God might have revealed to you is unprofessional. And these are the sort of things that we're trying to discourage. As you know, we don't just follow things anyhow, because we are patronizing people who exploit our religious gullibility, and that can create all sorts of problems for us. There are homes that have been destroyed because of the so-called revelations and prophecies by certain people who have not been very circumspect in the kinds of things that they have said. Assuming that you come to me and I say to you that your wife is a witch, am I promoting marital harmony? And so we are trying to say to our people, by all means, nobody is curtailing your religion. You have the freedom of religious expression, but let not religion create tension.
President Akufo-Addo is urging staff of the civil and local government service to stay away from partisan politics. According to him, such persons and their acts poison the work environment and harm the collective aspirations of the Ghanaian people. Chief of Staff, who read the speech on behalf of the President at the annual Congress of CLOGSAG, assured government will lend a listening ear to the concerns of CLOGSAG whenever the right channels are used. Richard Kwajunyako was there and has more.
According to the President, staff of the civil and local government services who have become appendages of political parties continue to poison the work environment and have become selfish with their acts. The President says neutrality within the civil and local government services has enormous implications for the running of the local government sector. In a speech read on his behalf by the Chief of Staff, Akosua Freba Osei Opare, the President asked staff of the service to only express their preferences for political parties during public elections, precisely in the ballot box.
Government is enjoined to ensure the non-politicization of both the civil service and the local government service. The Constitution also demands that civil and local government staff should not be affiliated to any political party as long as they remain members of the civil service and the local government service. This has been reinforced by a ruling of the Supreme Court. The only occasion in which a civil servant can express his or her political preference is in the polling booth. Becoming an appendage of a political party will undermine your professionalism and independence and will thus not inure to the benefit of the Ghanaian people and do harm to our collective aspirations of building a progressive and prosperous Ghana.
President Akufo-Addo also says since he became president some 2 years ago, he's extended some positive overtures to CLOCSAG and will do more if the association uses the right channel of tabling their challenges. He assured auditing of the temporary pensions fund accounts and issues relating to the data of contributors are being addressed.
I can assure you also that auditing of the temporary pension fund account and issues relating to the data of contributors will be addressed by February 2019. The relevant institutions have been tasked to complete this exercise to enable the smooth implementation of the Tier 2 pension scheme. That is the occupational pension scheme in the public services.
Head of the local government service, Nana Atwata, assured CLOCSAG of better working conditions. Richard Kwejenyako, Joy News, Cape Coast.
In other news, the Ministry of Education says all is set for contractors to start work on the expansion and upgrading of technical and vocational institutions across Ghana. The Deputy Minister of Education in charge of the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Unit, Barbara Ashaisi, says the action by government forms part of a 5-year strategic plan for the sector. The Deputy Minister was speaking at a news conference in Cape Coast. Again, Richard Kwejenyako.
Following a 5-year strategic plan for the TVET sector by government, the Ministry of Education says contractors have been sorted out to begin construction in the various TVET institutions across the country. This, according to them, is to transform the sector and make it more appealing for many to venture into. Deputy Minister of Education in charge of TVET, Barbara Ashaisi, is confident 2019 will see a lot of actions and work in the TVET sector.
We have a 5-year strategic plan, and per our 5-year strategic plan, from now to the next 5 years, we wish to transform TVET. That is why His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, has prioritized technical and vocational education in this country, and currently I have been assigned purposely to ensuring that indeed we upgrade or we revamp TVET in our country. So 2018 has been good, and looking forward to 2019, where we would start rolling out our policies, where the contractors will go on site, would go to the various campuses to start work in upgrading all our technical institutions.
The Cape Coast North Member of Parliament says the informal sector will be the ultimate winner in government's drive for the transformation of the sector. As a result, a loan scheme has been instituted to support women in Cape Coast who are into petty trading with some startup capital to support their income generation activities, while many have also been assisted to undergo apprenticeship for free and given startup capitals to start their entrepreneurial journeys. The loan scheme is a revolving fund where young women are given capital to start businesses of their own in order to make a living.
Barbara Asha loan scheme. This is nothing big, but something small to support our women who are doing petty training. And so far so good. They've started, giving out the monies, starting from community to communities, and gradually would, get to every community. And it's going very well.
Richard Kwejenyako, Joy News, Cape Coast.
Now, Ghanaian farmers will soon have drought-tolerant and pest-resistant maize and soybean varieties for cultivation. The Crop Research Institute says improved maize and soybean varieties awaiting approval have the potential to reduce pre- and post-harvest losses. Joy News' Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reports.
CRI in Shraba, which means blessed child, CRI Anipa or good eye, and CRI in Kwaji are some of the varieties under testing. Dr. Manfred Bonzi Ewo is a maize breeder and senior research scientist at the CRI of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research.
These are high in vitamin A, ranging from 11 microgram per gram to 15 microgram per gram. Yields are between 5 tons to 6 tons. Now, we have got the yield, but we need to be sure whether economically, when we produce these varieties, it will be feasible. So we conduct economic analysis as part of the release process. And when we did the economic analysis, the benefit-cost ratios were all positive.
Other local improved maize varieties are CRI BA, CRI Akomapa, and CRI Nkomo.
Choosing to name them CRI Ba, CRI Nkomo, and then CRI Akomapa. Why? Because CRI Ba, because I'm saying that there are materials that are here. It's not from outside. Normally we get introduction from outside. But here is the case, we are developing something from our own. So we call it CRI Ba. And then the Akomapa is that the good heart that CRI have for the people of Ghana. That's reason that we want productivity in agriculture to improve. And therefore we are coming out with these varieties to help farmers improve their productivity. And then the third one in Como is that when the productivity comes and people are happy, then they'll be talking about it. And it becomes from like a conversation point.
2 soybean varieties have also been proposed for release.
The major diseases that we have in the country for soybean are the brown spots, or what we can call the sequestral leaf spots. Then also we have the viruses, and then anthracnose, and then rust. And these are the diseases that may attack soybean. Currently, the varieties that we have released were bred specifically for resistance to these diseases. And as far as we can tell, they are very good and they can do very well when even there's a disease outbreak.
Oh, so that's it for the latest news update we have. We have a couple of the newspapers, and we would want to take a look at them. Just about 3, I believe, in the studio.
Indeed, and of course, Mama V will be joining us, the consolidated 3 back together again, right? Yes, right here.
Well, definitely. Indeed. And I will also look at my JoyNews.com, look at some Trump-related stories that have been posted on international news platforms.
All of that to come after these.
We'll be right back.